Well, hey everyone, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you once again on the Inspirations for Your Life show. I hope everybody is having an amazing evening. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and kick the show off. So I'll be right back, and I look forward to seeing you in just one, two, and three. Well, hey everyone, it is Sean C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, definitely want to say welcome and thank you for being here. If you have been here many times before, of course, you know what I want to say to you. I want to say welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the content of my show and want to apply it to their lives. If you're thirsty, feel free to go get yourself something like a water or fruit or whatever have you and come on back to the show, and we'll kick this off here. Don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my, of course, amazing, inspiring creations. This is a really great show tonight. We always have great shows, you know that. Confidence without validation. Welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and yes, guys, a passionate lifelong learner. And it's my privilege and my pleasure and honor to be with you guys this evening. This week's theme is all about from fear to forward, choosing light, clarity, and momentum. Today's episode is all about confidence without validation. We're on series 5, show 7, episode number 6, and learning to stand steady without waiting for permission, approval, or even an agreement. Because I know a lot of people get stuck in this phase of their lives, unfortunately. So, number one is without permission, real confidence begins when you stop asking to be allowed. And I think if people understand that, they won't always be seeking permission, every time they do something. I mean, I think sometimes that holds people back and they're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how to do what I want to do because you're always looking for permission. So you never try anything new. Number two, guys, why validation is optional. Validation can support you, but it should never lead you. And I think sometimes when people don't get that pat on the back, they don't get the validation, they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't feel like people believe in me. Don't worry about that. Do it anyway. Number three, guys, learning to approve yourself. See, self approval creates emotional stability. I don't know if you know that. And so when we understand what that is, I think that can make a huge difference, in our lives. So that's a very, very important thing to understand. And I want to make sure that you all understand that. All right. Number four, guys, number four is all about how internal confidence stabilizes life. Inner confidence reduces external chaos. And, maybe you're saying to me, John, I don't believe that. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is the truth. And the more you believe it, the more you're actually going to see it. And if you don't believe it, it's going to rear itself in the back. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Number five, why confidence doesn't require agreement. You don't need consensus to move forward. You don't. You can be successful. You can change your path very, very easily. But what you can't do is be untruthful to yourself. I think a lot of people do that. They don't even start. I said to you that in order to be successful, you have to take the first step, right? A journey starts with one step, but you can't start unless you take the step. And I've said before, you don't have to be great um, in this world, okay? To start, but you have to start to be great. Number six, guys, quiet confidence versus the loud certainty. Quiet confidence doesn't need to convince anyone. It's there for you. It's there for building your confidence. And people then take note of what is not ostentatious, what is subtle. Number seven, confidence through consistency. Consistency reinforces belief over time, not, once. But over time, we build up this impact, and this impact becomes pretty great. And thus, we're able to figure out, wow, I'm really pretty amazing. And I think these are things that a lot of people like. I don't think people get that. So that's a very important thing I want to point out to all of you. And I hope that you'll be able to understand why I'm saying this. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, or maybe someday in the future. And you'll be like, wait a minute, John, I get this now. I actually understand like why you were saying that. But maybe you didn't get it all up front, right? Maybe you didn't get it all up front. And there's nothing wrong with not getting it up front, but getting it is the most important thing. All right. Getting it is the most important thing. Um, why self belief grows privately. True confidence is built when no one is watching. I've said this before. We have to be our best self, not just when people are watching, but even when no one's watching. But that's when our character and our true personality are shaped. Really, really important. Number 9, guys, how to detach from external opinions. Detachment protects your emotional balance. I think I've said this before. When we think about attachment, we're talking about the fact that we're able to do something because we've decharged it. Okay, and when we decharge something, it's like, oh wow, things have really, really changed because our perception changes when our energy changes, and we realize we're not being controlled by that anymore. We have to mentally detach from things and physically too. And so when we do this, we're able to basically get our life in check. Sometimes our life falls out of check because, well, we're attaching to things that are actually not in alignment with who we are and what our core values are. I think that is the most important thing that I want to share with everybody here tonight. Number 10, confidence as grounded presence. Grounded presence communicates confidence instantaneously. Somebody who's grounded will be like somebody's most interesting thing because they want to know how they got that way. And I want to say to you that it's about one thing. It's about your core values. It's about what you stand for in life. And knowing that, I believe will set you up for success. Now, it might not happen right away, but what you're going to find is that success doesn't happen by loud things. Success happens subtly and you grow into it. I used to think that success was like this, this big thing, you just get pulled in. No, success happens gradually. And then these small steps that you take, it's like, well, that seems easier, that's easier, and that's easy. And then it's like, suddenly you just notice a little change, and it's suddenly like, wow, all these changes, that was a major thing. No, it wasn't a major thing. There were subtle changes that happened along the way. Number 11, why confidence isn't arrogance. Confidence is secure, arrogance is defensive. Depending on who you talk to, a lot of people believe that in order to be successful, you have to be arrogant. I want to disagree. You need to be confident. But sometimes people think confidence and arrogance go hand in hand. They shouldn't go hand in hand. All right. I think that's a big point that I want to share with everybody here tonight is that if you're noticing that success is all part of arrogance, you're hanging around the wrong people. Are they successful? They may be, but they're doing it the wrong way. And chances are they could fall just as quickly as they rose. Just being honest. Number 12, guys, standing firm without defensiveness. Strength doesn't need justification. It really doesn't. It's a quiet inner voice that lets you move forward. It's a quiet inner voice that lets you move forward. And the quiet voice speaks very softly because it's in alignment with who you are. And when you do that, you'll see that you are not being chaotic, you're being calm, collective. You're able to think better, and things just naturally flow. When there's chaos, it's like you're trying to push water up a stream. And we all know pushing water up a stream, that's very hard. But letting water flow down a stream, that's pretty easy to do, right? Pretty easy to do. I think a lot of people realize this. And that's something that maybe you've thought about before. Maybe. Maybe you've thought about that. Maybe you haven't. But I think one of the big things you have to realize is that life is about choices. And if other people are saying, oh, you have to be loud, you have to be boisterous, as I said to you, that might get you some attention, but it's also going to quickly get you to lose respect. This happens in social media, this happens in real life. We have to come, I'm going to call it the game, into life with a subtle approach, not one that's going to manipulate or connive or deceive others. We have to come out with our true self. And then when people see the true self and they see that we're acting that way over and over again, guess what they want to do? They want to engage with us. Number 13, why self-trust is magnetic. People trust those who trust themselves. I bet you never thought of that before. That's very true. People trust those who trust themselves. And if we think about that for just a minute, when somebody trusts themselves, it's like, wow. It's like, all right, this person's got their whole act together. There's somebody I want to hang around, right? The person's not getting up on a microphone and screaming that they're successful. They're doing it quietly. They don't have anything to prove. Number 14, guys. Confidence through preparation. Preparation replaces anxiety with certainty. When we know how to prepare, we've learned something pretty important. You know what that is? That's the fact that we understand what life is about. We understand that sometimes in life, we get thrown curveballs. Well, maybe more than once, right? And it's our job to figure out how to catch that ball, not get hit with it, figure out how to deflect it, or figure out how to redirect the ball so that ball can actually be used as a strength in our path of success. Number 15, why approval seeking drains energy. Seeking approval leaks focus and power. When I was younger, I used to think that I can't do anything until somebody approves me. I was waiting for that cheerleader, right? But I realized after many years that the only person I need to really impress is myself. There's no need to impress others because once I've impressed myself, people are going to want to get to know who I am and what I do. Being quiet with a big stick. And what I mean by the big stick is your ambition. It's your core values. You carry the big stick very softly, but very sincerely. And it gets around of what you stand for and who you are. I think that's a very important thing, guys. Number 15, why approval seeking drains energy. But I want to tell you one other thing about this. Leaking focus is a problem, not just one day. It's a problem all the time if we don't pay attention to it. Number 16, internal validation is strength. Self-validation creates resilience. When we believe in ourselves, other people believe in us. When we believe in ourselves, other people believe in us. Okay? But it's not something we do just once. It's something we do over and over and over again. Okay? I I think sometimes we all get anxious and we sacrifice our core values because we're afraid we might not get the other opportunity. But the truth of the matter is, the other opportunity will come to us if we're patient and if we're living our true values. Because that other opportunity might not necessarily be the best one for us. Let nature flow. Let water flow down a hill. Don't try to have water flow up a hill. It never works. Number 17, confidence without comparison. Comparison weakens confidence. Yes, it does. The only person you should be comparing yourself to, yourself from another day. But never compare yourself to another person. They're all at different points in their life. And these different points, I think, make a big difference. But I realize that they could cause people to get frustrated, people to somehow give up, or maybe to become frustrated on where they're going or what their path is about. It happens. So this is why I think it's very important to know who you are, to know your core values, and to know that you're not going to compromise them just because life is getting tough or it's getting challenging. Number 18, guys. Why confidence simplifies choices. Confidence removes hesitation. Yep, sure does. It removes hesitation, and when it removes hesitation, we feel better inside. Other people start to know that we are more than just, well, something that is there. And by there, I mean something that might not be in alignment with even who we are. And that's not something you figure out overnight, guys. It's something that you learn over time. That's pretty cool. And if you could know that what you're standing for is your true value, your true core, then that could change, again, the person that you actually are. The person that you actually are. And that's a difference that some people just don't quite align with. Because again, they're rushing. Number 19, trusting your judgment. Your judgment will sharpen with use, just like your confidence sharpens with use. So don't get dismayed because somebody's at a different point than you in life. Don't get dismayed about that. Your journey is your journey for a reason. Everyone else's journey is theirs, and we shouldn't compare our journey to someone else's. Number 20, confidence through alignment. Aligned values produce steady confidence. So you see why I said core values are so important? They're key to us becoming a better version of ourselves. But it's not a light switch. It's an evolution to becoming a different person. To realizing that what you do today should carry forward tomorrow and the rest of your life. Of course, you can tweak it and make it better, but you shouldn't take shortcuts because you think that's going to get you to the finish line quicker, right? If we were in a marathon and somebody, cut across the park, that would be cheating, and they'd be eliminated. If you do that in your own life, is it cheating? Yes. Is somebody going to catch you? Probably, but maybe not. It doesn't mean it's okay to do it. I've said to you, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And traversing across the park, it's not something you should do because it'll be cheating. And compromising who you are and your core values is also not something you should do just because of something that seems better, like money or some other fame, because those are going to keep living if you're not being who you truly are. Number 21. Why inner certainty feels calm. Calm is confidence at rest. Calm is confidence at rest. And when we can understand that thing, we can suddenly get a new perception of how the world looks, of how we show up in it. But if we're not calm, this will never, ever happen, guys. Never, never, never. Number 22, confidence and restraint. Knowing when not to react is confidence. People always say, you better do something. Sometimes the best thing to do, guys, is to do nothing. Confidence. That's an important one that I think everybody needs to understand. Okay, a very important one that I think a lot of people need to know. And if you know that, then maybe you'll change the way you do things. Just maybe. I'm not saying it's going to be easier overnight, but what I am going to tell you is that you will change the way you go about your life. You will evolve differently. You will gain different insights. Why? Because you are seeing the world through a different viewpoint, a different perspective, a different lens. Number 23, guys, why self-respect fuels confidence. Self-respect sustains belief. One of the most important things I always teach people is that you've got to have respect for yourself. You've got to have respect for others. Even if you don't believe in what they're doing, you've got to have respect. You've got to. It's non-negotiable. Number 24, confidence without performance. You don't need to perform to be confident. You don't need to perform to be confident. Number 25. Why confidence improves boundaries. Confidence strengthens boundaries naturally, not in an egotistical way or a rude manner, but in a way that shows people this is what I stand for. This is who I am. These are my core values. If you like them, great. If you don't, well, there's the door. You can leave. I think some people are like, oh my gosh, if I don't bend, then I'm going to lose this friend. That person was never a friend anyway. They were never there to help you. You just had an illusion that they were your friend. Number 26, standing tall without explaining. Explanation is not always required. I know when I was younger, I always say, I've got to explain this to somebody so they get it. Then as I got older, I said, why do I have to explain it? Was I explaining it so I felt better? Did I feel like, I made a big change because of that? A lot of times there was stress because I was explaining things. And if I would have just let them go, people would have just moved on. But I was trying to do the right thing. By doing the right thing, I caused myself more stress when I was younger. That's important. Number 27, confidence in your pace. Your pace doesn't need validation. Nope. You don't need somebody to say, oh, you're on the right pace. You're on the right speed. Nope. You do not need that. You do not need validation. What you do need, guys, is you need respect. You need respect. You need respect. And if we can walk a way that earns us respect without getting us to lose who we are, that's the key. That is the key, guys. It's not a quick thing. And I know that a lot of you are saying, well, John, it's not going quick enough. We have to trust ourselves. And by trusting ourselves, we gain clarity. Maybe something we didn't know that existed, but we gain clarity. Why confidence grows with integrity? Integrity reinforces the inner belief. Number 28. I think the more we understand that, the more we'll be successful. Number 29, believing without broadcasting. Confidence doesn't announce itself, nor should we have to either. What we do in secret, what we do privately, gets rewarded. Number 30, guys, confidence as emotional stability. Emotional stability is the highest form of confidence that anyone can achieve. But sometimes people think they've got confidence emotionally, but then it's not truly built up. It's not grounded. And then they're like, oops. And it wasn't a mistake. It was that they rushed into something too quickly by not properly building emotional stability. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to please check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. You can get my short form content, my long form content, accessible 24 hours a day from your computer and, of course, your smart devices. Ladies and gentlemen, I also invite you to choose self-trust, to choose steadiness, and keep moving from fear to forward. Because when we are still, we either basically are stagnant and do nothing, or we relapse. So let's keep moving forward in a positive direction to help ourselves, and in turn, that'll help others. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please check out believemeachieve.com. We'll wrap up this entire series tomorrow. That'll be Friday. Have yourself a great one, and feel free to go back to believemeachieve.com to catch these shows again and watch them. They're powerful.